How will you be remembered after you're gone? The echo after we're gone. That's what we want to talk about, is the impact that we leave behind when we leave this earth. This is a very short ride that we have, right? It's very short. It seems like it's a long ride. If you're fortunate enough to live to your late 70s, early 80s, right? You're very fortunate, especially with having good health. But I want us to focus in on what happens to what we've done while we've been here. Who have we affected in a positive way or a negative way? Let me ask you something that's uncomfortable. One day, every single one of us will disappear. Your voice will go silent. Your footsteps will stop. Your phone will stop lighting up with messages. Your chair at the table will sit empty. And within a few generations, most people won't even know your name. So the real question isn't what will I accomplish while I'm alive? The real question is what will still exist because you have lived? That's what you should be asking yourself. After you've passed on and gone and left your family behind, what impact have you had on your family? What will still exist because you've lived? That's a very powerful question. So tonight on the Voracious Podcast, we're talking about something most people avoid, something most people don't even want to face. But what impact do we actually leave behind after we die? Because this is the truth. You don't just disappear when you die. Pieces of you stay behind in ways most people never realize. Part 1, the illusion of permanence. Human beings live like time is unlimited. We make plans for next year. We promise people we'll call them back tomorrow. We tell ourselves we'll start chasing our dreams soon, but the clock never pauses. Every day that passes quietly moves us closer to the moment when our story ends. And history is brutally honest about something. Almost everyone is forgotten. Yes, even some of the greatest people that we know 100 years from now will never even be talked about. Think about that. Your great-grandparents probably lived full lives. They laughed, they struggled, they had dreams, fears, heartbreaks, and victories. But today, most people cannot even name them. Their stories disappeared, their voices faded, time erased them, and the realization can either feel depressing or it can wake you up, because it forces you to ask the most powerful question a human being can ask. What kind of ripple will my life create? Part 2. The ripple effect of human life. Every human life is like dropping a stone in water. When that stone hits the surface, ripples spread outward. Sometimes those ripples are small. Sometimes they stretch further than we can ever imagine. And I know we've all done that. We've taken a stone as a kid or even as an adult. We'll take a pebble and throw it into a calm pond and we'll see the ripple effect. Obviously, the bigger the stone, the bigger the ripple effect. But one thing that remains the same for both stones that have been thrown, big or small, is that the ripple effect does eventually fade away. Think about a teacher who tells a struggling kid, "I believe in you." That kid grows up believing that they are capable. Years later, they start a business. That business feeds families, all because someone believed in them while they were young. Or think about the opposite. A father who constantly tells their child that they're worthless. The child grows up carrying that voice in their head. That damage spreads throughout relationships, decisions, and generations. The truth is this. Every word we speak plants something in someone, and those seeds don't die when we die, they grow. Sometimes into forests and sometimes into fires. That's why it's important to be conscious of how you speak to people. I know sometimes people may piss you off or get you upset, and you may say some things out of anger that you really didn't mean, but those words last a lifetime. Physical scars can heal, but I believe those emotional scars that we're walking around with as human beings plays out in our life in very significant ways, and we see that today of damaged people damaging other people. Part 3, the people who change history. History shows us that impact is death. Part 3, the people who change history. History shows us that the impact after death is real. Let's talk about Martin Luther King. When he died in 1968, his voice was silenced, but his message wasn't. His speeches still shape conversations and justice about today. Think about Nelson Mandela. Decades after his death, he fought against oppression. His movement still inspires people across the world. Or even Steve Jobs, for those people who have iPhones. He died in 2011, but the technology he helped create is literally in billions of hands today. Their bodies died, but their impact didn't. Their ideas kept moving. Their influence kept spreading, because impact is not measured by how we live. It's measured by what we put into the world while we're here. Make an impact today. Change someone's future for the better if you have the ability to. Say good morning to that stranger. You don't know how that may impact them. Part 4, the quiet impact most people ignore. This is the quiet part. But here's why most people don't understand legacy. Some of the most powerful impacts in history came from people whose names will never appear in history books. The grandmother who held the family together, the coach who mentored dozens of students, the social worker who helped someone rebuild their life, the friend who showed up when everyone else disappeared. These quiet impacts rarely make headlines, but they shape lives. And the lives that they shape are the other lives that can shape other lives, which means the ripple continues. You may never know how far your influence travels. 5. Digital ghosts. The digital ghosts we leave behind. For the first time in human history, something strange is happening. Our worlds and images may outlive us permanently. Social media posts, podcasts, videos, photos. Future generations may hear voices of people who died decades earlier. In a strange way, technology has created a form of digital immortality. 100 years from now, someone might still hear your thoughts. They might watch your videos. They might listen to your ideas. And they may never know you personally, but your voice might still shape their thinking, which means something powerful. What you create today might outlive your entire bloodline. Think about that for people who are jumping into the podcasting world or just recording these videos thinking that they don't have any impact. You have a very small reach or small following. You see only 100 views on there. You may see 5 views, not understanding that those 5 people that may have viewed that video may actually be impacted and go on to change the world just from those few moments of time that you gave to those complete strangers. Part 6, the danger of living without intention. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Everyone leaves an impact, but not everyone leaves a good impact. Some people leave behind broken families, pain, addiction, trauma, generations of damage. The ripple effect works both ways. Your habits affect your children, your character affects your friends, your discipline affects your community, your absence affects people more than you realize. And that means something important. Legacy isn't built at the end of life. Legacy is built every single day. That's why that phrase is so important, to make every day count. You want to make every day count in your life. Don't squander this time that you have by thinking small and thinking that you can't make a difference from where you are today. Part 7, the small moments that become legacy. Most people think legacy is building something grand, building companies, winning awards, becoming famous. But most legacies are built in quiet moments no one else sees. A father teaching his son how to shake someone's hand, a mother telling her daughter she is strong, a mentor encouraging someone not to quit. These moments seem small, but they become memories. And the memories become identity, and the identity shapes decisions for decades. The truth is, you might not control history, but you absolutely control the impact you have on people around you. Part 8, the hard truth about being forgotten. Here's the brutal truth. Most of us will be forgotten, not because we didn't matter, but because time moves forward. Civilizations rise, civilizations fall, new generations replace the old ones, but even if your name disappears, your influence might still exist. A lesson you taught someone, a belief you gave someone, the kindness you showed to someone, those things get passed forward like invisible inheritances, and the inheritance can last for generations. Part 9, what really matters at the end. When people reach the end of their lives, they rarely talk about money, because money is a thing that we need, but that's the last thing you're thinking about when you're taking your last breath. They rarely talk about promotions. They rarely talk about status. They rarely talk about people, the moments, the love, the regrets, the chances they didn't take, because when everything else fades away, only one question really matters. Did my life make this world a better or worse place for people around me? Not perfect, not famous, just better. Someday, every one of us will take our final breath. The world will keep moving. The sun will rise the next morning. Traffic will continue. People will laugh. Children will be born. Life will go on. But somewhere out there, something will still exist because you lived. Maybe it's a child who believes in themselves. Maybe it's a lesson someone repeats. Maybe it's an idea that spreads. Maybe it's a piece of content someone hears when they need to hear it most. We don't control how long we live, but we do control what we plant while we're here. And the seed we plant today may grow long after we're gone. This is the Voracious Podcast. And if this episode made you think, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Life is not just about surviving your years. It's about the echo you leave behind when your voice is gone. I'm curious about my Voracious Podcast family. What impact do you believe that your life has had since you've been here on earth? And what impact do you believe that you'll leave when you're no longer here? The echo that we leave behind. And this has been Anwar with the Voracious Podcast. I appreciate you guys staying with me. Thank you for all the support, likes, comments, and subscriptions. If you want to hear more good content like this, drop a thumbs up down below. Take care. Peace.